What's up, YouTube? We live again. I think we running.
What's up, YouTube?
YouTube, Facebook. What's up? What's up?
What's happening?
Peace, family. Again, you tuned into the Power of Ownership podcast. This is your host, Brandon B. Dixon.
This is Siraj Rakeem Wilson.
And our special guest today is my boy, man, one of the great guys that I met out here in Houston, man, Michael Joseph from the B Spot Realty.
How y'all doing?
Yeah, he a little bit camera shy.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm let you do your thing,
man. We live, man. So, you know,
I don't want to take it and run with it, man.
Right. So, since we already on, just go ahead and introduce yourself. Okay. People kind of familiar with us a little bit, and if they're not, we're going to reintroduce ourselves after we reintroduce you. So, go ahead and tell them what you're at, tell them your information, contact information, tell them what you do, so on and so forth.
Right. How y'all doing? My name is Michael Joseph. I'm the owner of the B Spot. B Spot has multiple different legs. We own a barber and beauty salon out in the Humble area. We have an investment company, and I'm also a real estate agent. And we have a property management company that we manage the properties for all our investors. So we can help everybody from anywhere from leasing the property to what we come to talk about today is some gentrification and showing you how we can capitalize on movement in the community.
That's a bet. And go ahead and introduce yourself, Siraj, and I'll go ahead and top it off, and let's go ahead and get the show started.
Siraj Rakeem Wilson. I'm your Houston poet. I'm an author, writer, a recording artist, actor, doing it all. And here we today again with another episode of some real stuff for y'all today.
Right.
We're gonna get into it today.
And family, if y'all don't know me, I'm Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a mortgage broker, sales trainer, entrepreneur, and author, newly published author. In fact, my book is out now, Sales, the Nucleus of Any Profession. And this is the Power of Ownership podcast. And what we mainly talk about is ownership of not just businesses, home ownership, investment properties, intellectual properties, but ownership of the mind, body, and soul, because that's where it starts. If you don't take control of yourself and of your mind, then you can't manifest anything on the outside. But one of the topics I want to get to the first segment, and one of the things that was on my mind this week is trust. And it kind of stems from the actual podcast from last week, is that we kind of talked on support.
Okay.
A little bit. I don't know if you've seen the podcast or listened to the podcast last week, but those who don't, go back, and it's on YouTube, on Facebook, on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, it's everywhere. So take a look at that. But we talked about support a little bit, and what I wanted, what I envisioned for our community, and when I say our community, I'm just not talking about heavily melanated. I'm talking about people with the same mind frame that's tired of being oppressed and tired of being suppressed as far as their visions and their goals systematically suppressed. Mm-hmm. And we're tired of it, and we're trying to take back what's ours.
Right.
Which is we want an equal piece of the pie as well. But we got to go ahead and work and go ahead and do this. So we the underdogs.
Right.
So it's just not a race thing. We speak for the underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get it to where we're supporting one another. Where if I come out with any good product or service, automatically you should support it. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the problems why we don't support, I think, is trust. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that, I think we stop trusting each other. That where if I blow up or somebody blows up, that they're gonna leave the hood and not do the right thing, and then toss and floss the money in your face. So people are gun shy about supporting somebody. That's number one. Then number two,
I tell you number two.
Right. Go ahead.
One of my brothers said the best today on Facebook. Earlier today, my brother made a video with my brother MC Lero. He was speaking on the same topic today. It's coincidence, but he was speaking on how the fact that we don't mind supporting with our own, but we have to be more efficient in our services.
Right.
We spend money with our people, but we treat our own like dirt, and our services now don't be as best as it can be. So that makes a person don't want to spend money with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Simple thing like even being kind. The simple thing is being kind to your customer. But the most thing is the quality of service. We need to really be about our business and whatever services we're trying to provide. We need to really be about that business for real.
I got you, but I think again, that's why we talk about this.
Right.
Let's open it up. my perspective is that I think that's part of the program, and that all of our businesses are not like that.
I'm not talking about all.
Right.
Not at all.
I think we're magnifying that small portion that is. But I think that small portion that is across the board. It don't matter what community you're in, you're going to have some people
You're gonna get terrible service.
Yeah, you're going to get terrible.
Right,
but we're
right.
getting labeled just like we're labeled as thugs, killers, gangsters. I think that's the same thing they label us as far as poor service, and that scares our people from patronizing our businesses. And that's the mistrust that I think that's happening to us. So that's part of the program.
It goes both ways, though.
Right. But now, is there people that do have poor service? Yes. But this is the thing. And Mike, I want you to chime in on this. Was Trump the best candidate that they could put out there? No, but they backdoor and supported him. That blind support. They look at the greater good. Hey, all right, this guy has a checkered past, but he's going to pick the next Supreme Justice. So I'm going to go ahead and throw his support for this guy just because of that. So we got to look at the greater good. Like, I understand that you might have poor service, but let me go ahead and, pull you to the side. Hey, sister, brother, I want to see y'all make it.
Exactly.
Once y'all do whoop, 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 whoop.
Gotta communicate.
Right.
Communicate. Must communicate.
And then that way, next time y'all can make that money. What you think about that?
I can give you a personal.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had to
Tell
give,
a story.
I'm working with a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
I represent the buyer. I normally like to choose my loan officers because I know how they're going to respond. I know how they're going to react. And the buyer brought the loan officer to the table.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, unfortunately, it was a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's going well. I negotiated the contract fine. Things were flowing. I mean, we're working on our way to closing. The loan officer dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Deal bust out. He goes back and runs it again through another bank. We're still working on trying to get the deal done. Then the loan officer goes ghost on us. Don't respond to us no more. Don't respond to title no more. Don't respond to none of us.
Right.
Me, the listing agent, nobody. The first thing the seller says is if I was dealing with white folks,
Right.
I wouldn't have this problem.
Right.
Right.
And I took it a little personal because it had nothing to do with the job that I was doing.
Right.
I done my job.
Right.
I effectively negotiated the contract. I made sure my buyer was covered in every angle in the process.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere in her mind, she just believed that she's been conditioned to believe she's going to get one level of an experience with an African American and another level of experience with a Caucasian.
Right.
And that's back to that trust thing.
Right.
We already kind of down ourselves and beat down on us the minute something goes wrong.
Right.
We don't give them a chance to
Right.
fix it or make it right.
Right.
Because we've already been programmed to think one is superior versus the other.
Right. The ice is colder than our ice.
Right.
And it's the same ice.
Right.
And this being solution based, or in what I do to kind of combat that, is I have to be extra cold. So I overcompensate.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that's why Mike deal with me like I overdo my job
Right.
because I'm busting down those
Very-
stereotypes.
Yeah.
So somebody has to come and lead. Somebody has to take charge on as far as the stigma and bust down those stigmas.
That's what I'm talking about. You did exactly what I was talking about.
Right.
That made you
Right.
want to step up your level of service.
Right.
So that's so like I said, like it goes both ways, man. Like even if you get that bad service, that don't mean don't deal with your people because you get that bad service. We got to communicate. We got to communicate.
Right.
And that was the whole problem we was having in the transaction. He wasn't communicating.
Right.
He wasn't responding to nobody. So
Right.
if he would have properly responded,
Right.
all of us could have made better decisions
Right.
in the situation. But he
Right.
wasn't responding to me. He wasn't responding to the buyer. He wasn't responding to title.
He just was all messed up, right?
Yeah.
Different
Right.
emotions. He let his emotions get in the way of the whole situation. See?
Right. Well, not only this, and this is actually, I wanted to talk about this in segment 3, but we're going to have to talk about this now. This is a good segue,
Right.
but this is the thing. Let me tell a story. First of all, for people that don't know me, before I was in the lending business, and side note, before I get into this, you won't get this, if you're looking at it and trying to get a home, you won't get that type of service from me, because I'm trying to be like the best that ever did it. You know, I don't just try to do my
That's what I'm talking
job.
about.
I try to make history. That's the only way we
Top
going to.
quality service. You
Yeah,
want to be
you
the
gotta,
best
we
at
gotta
what
go.
you do.
I gotta overcompensate for those amongst us that do things like what you experience. So I have to overcompensate and be that gem, that diamond in the rough, in order to be that glimmer of hope for our community. So that's what I put on my shoulders. But getting back into what I was saying, one of the things I wanted to get into segment 3 that we have to talk about, and I want to tell a little story, is that we got to man up and face our responsibilities. And responsibility is simply responding to your ability.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is. Respond to your abilities. And what I mean by that is that, give you a quick story. For those who don't know me, before I was in the lending industry, I used to be the training and development manager at Gallery Furniture. Before that, I owned my own business for 15 plus years. And, you know, made it to a multi-million-dollar establishment, second year in inception from my standpoint. I had to be the exception then with service, you know. But Mattress Mac scooped me up, and Mattress Mac was my mentor. Caucasian dude, for those who don't know, those nationwide listening to us, Mattress Mac has the biggest privately owned furniture store in the state of Texas. The biggest profit-wise and biggest per square foot. You know, so he has the biggest. So dudes work probably a Billy. He in the Billy Club. He in the 3 Comma Club. So one of the things I learned from him is that this guy never dodges phone calls. Mm-hmm. I don't care what it is. If it's a family member asking for money, it's a church or something like that asking for money, this dude always answers his phone. I could call him right now, he's going to answer his phone. Mm-hmm. Friday night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I've had some dudes say they was texting him at 1 in the morning. That work with me, some of my students said they were texting him at 1 in the morning. This dude always answers his phone. So instead of running for your responsibilities, face up. Because what happens is, let's go to the metaphysical tip as well. Mm-hmm. No matter if you don't face it, it's still gonna pop up again and again and again in different forms until you face that same situation. Right. So you might as well deal with it. And what our people run from is that we don't have the training. Mm-hmm. So we panic. And then we go into hiding because we don't know how to deal with the situation. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather deal with the situation wrong than not deal with the situation at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Deal with it some kind of way, even if you're not going to be perfect. What is perfection? Right. Okay. But just deal with it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Communicate.
And that's all I explain to the loan officer. I say, even if you haven't heard back from the underwriter,
right.
I'd rather you send an email to everybody and say, hey, file is still in underwriting.
Right.
We ain't heard nothing.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
Some news beats no news.
Right.
Because when you don't give us no news,
right.
The mind begins to wonder.
Right.
You begin to think the worst.
Right.
And just so happens again like that.
Right.
So the communication part for most of us is probably the hardest part because we don't know how to communicate.
Right. We haven't been taught.
And then for most of us, we come from places to where we've seen communication all turned physically.
Right. Exactly.
So some people communicate physically.
That emotion.
Right.
See how it all comes back to those emotions.
Right.
And see that it's back to that last show we did about the higher self and the lower self, and understanding that you have both in you, the higher self and the lower self. And your lower self, he's the one that's getting attached emotionally to these situations, and you want to connect to your higher self to where you're not invested emotionally to the situation. But when you invest yourself emotionally to the situation, you're not thinking properly and you're not acting properly. You go to thinking wrong, fearing, doubting, thinking things not working right because your emotional, the lower parts of your emotions is what's involved in the situation. But you need to remain calm and let your higher self adapt to what's going on so you can think clearly and know what's going on. But like I said, once you start to get mad and anger gets sets in, this is the lower self at this point that's operating. Right. You're going to say things that you don't mean at the moment. Right. And then once you calm down, you're like, damn, I didn't mean that. But like I said, once you let that lower self take over, that's the one speaking for you at the moment. Right. And that's the issue. We got to deal with that. We got to deal with those egos and that lower self.
Right. I came up with the cliche. This is what I always came up with. You know, when you think emotionally, you lose or when you react emotionally. When you react emotionally, you lose every time. And so the thing is, a lot of people don't know any difference between the emotions. They don't know how to.
We wasn't even taught.
We wasn't even taught
to not do that.
Right. It's just a kind
of thing. We think it's normal. We think that's normal to when something happens to rah back. We think that's right. A normal reaction, but no.
Right. Now that's actually an animalistic viewpoint. Animals react.
Right.
And that's why the Sphinx is what it is. You see the half man, the head is a human, right? A female, right? And the body is a
That's
lion.
symbolizing your animal nature.
Right,
Your lower
it's the
self.
animal. It's your animal nature. We have to overcome our animal nature into thinking of God and thinking of the higher realm of things. And that's kind of what we. And a lot of people don't know it. It's the fact our podcast is not just for people that's advanced in consciousness. It's for people that's just getting into consciousness. There's no look at the word. Look at the word, family. I'm a big study of etymology. Individual, divide, dual.
The dual nature, those two dual natures that's in all of us.
Right.
You gotta
That's
know
your
that.
God and that's your devil inside of you.
Right. Higher self, lower self.
Does that make sense?
Higher
So
self, lower
you
self.
have to learn how to master your lower self and get into the higher thinking. Sit back and think about it. How would and y'all had it, even though it was with the wristbands. What would Jesus do?
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
So would Jesus rah back to somebody? Would Jesus, hire from somebody and knowing this was my responsibility, knowing I got these people waiting on me to make this money, would somebody go in a shell like that? So whatever you got to use, even people that's still in Christianity, whatever you got to use that. What would Jesus do? Think about it. And how would I conduct myself in that particular situation if I was the deity? If you don't believe that you're the deity yourself. Right. So we talking to everybody that's whatever level of consciousness you on, what would that deity do?
Right.
And some people, I can't think like that. Why not?
Right. You see, they think that the power is so far outside of them. They're not understanding that this energy is within you.
Right.
And the way to the energy is getting control of that lower part of your energy that's stopping you from connecting with that higher frequency. That's the key.
Right.
That's the key, man.
Right. And a lot of people that's tuning in for the first time, they're saying, well, what this got to... Did I tune into the wrong podcast? This has everything to do with business, everything to do with success, everything to do with bringing stuff into fruition. Because if you can't master your lower self,
if you can't master yourself, period.
If you can't master yourself,
anything outside of you, you can't master yourself.
This is the thing, family. This is the thing. Check this out, family. This is for those people that's teenagers, even adults. This is what I learned coming up. If you can't manage your own time, your own life, how can you manage other people's lives? How can you be a manager on your shift?
Right.
How can you be a manager at your job? You can't even manage your own stuff.
Right.
If you can't manage other people, how can you manage a business? And if you can't manage a business, how you can manage a community? Right. How you gonna lead a community? How you gonna better yourself?
It comes back.
It all starts with the self. Then it goes up. But you got to master yourself first. You can't be how you gonna move up into if job is your thing. If you don't want to own a business, but you want to own that company. I mean, you want to own that position at that company. Whatever level that you at. How can you do it if you can't be on time yourself? How can you do it if you're not an example for the other people? How can you manage people?
Self-discipline. You have to have that self-discipline.
You see what I'm saying? So it all starts with the self. Just to kind of segue to section 2, what I really wanted to talk about with this, kind of the current events, what's going on, and a lot of people talking about the Gucci boycott. Kering is the actual parent company, and we did a little research, and Kering is the parent company that own Yves Saint Laurent, they own Alexander McQueen, Gucci with the blackface thing, and the distractions going on with this month. What do y'all feel about that? I'm opening up you.
I'm gonna say my piece right quick.
Right, go ahead.
Like I said, man, everybody talking about the Gucci. Like I said, that's just a small company to a whole bigger thing. So like we beefing with the finger. If we're gonna go ahead and have a problem with something, go ahead and cut the whole head off the snake. But we don't even do our research on that. You know what I'm saying? We just dealing with this little one incident. But like I said, cut the head off the snake. What's the parent company that does all of that?
Kering.
Kering.
Karing, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I believe, but that's the thing. My thing. I'm going to let Mike go in on that a little bit. What you think about that subject?
To me, I just believe it's all a distraction.
That's all it is. That's why I'm like,
it's all a distraction, because when you sit down and pay attention to it all, the movers and the shakers is yet making their money.
Right.
They yet moving forward. And you can get so distracted by what's going on TV.
Right.
You ain't paying attention to what your spouse doing.
Right.
You ain't paying attention to what your children doing.
Right.
You ain't paying attention to what you need to be doing.
Keep going.
See, I don't watch sports.
Right.
I don't watch sports at all because in my mind, that's another man going to work.
Right.
So I got a hard time watching another man go to work, and I should be somewhere focused on my meetings.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason he's where he's at. So to me, the TV takes away so much time and energy. And anything they can put on there that keep you sidetracked and keep you following it in Twitter and in Instagram and whatever it may be, all that takes away from you. Only have so much energy in the run of the day,
Speak on it.
and so much time. So I don't spend my time on nothing that's not building my empire.
Focus on yourself.
Anything I focus on me from the time I wake up to the time I go down,
Right.
and everything outside of that, I don't pay no attention
Right.
because it's foolishness. Anyway.
Because for the simple fact, when your attention goes, your energy flows.
Yeah, the energy don't flow.
You ain't got no time to be wasting energy on nothing because that's taken away from what you're supposed to be doing.
Right, no doubt.
So, as a whole, as you watch the news, it's always something. And then I don't need that negativity planted in my mind anyway. Because in my mind is a garden.
Right.
And I got to keep it healthy. I got to keep it pure. I got to keep it positive. So I won't even turn the TV on.
Yeah. I like how you said garden. And see, you said garden, but like I said, that those lower energies that we possess, that for that garden, those lower energies is like a weed.
Right.
And if you notice, a weed grows faster than the flowers and the plants that blossom. So you got to be on that lower part of yourself like double time. All day you got to be checking that lower part of you because that part of you grows faster. Like them weeds in the garden, and that crop will smother you out all day if you're not dealing with it.
From the tree.
Yeah, take the nutrients from the tree. So I really get upset when I watch us get caught up and intertwined into it because then people we worried about what Gucci doing or ain't doing. And that company owns 9 or 10 more other companies.
10 more other companies.
Yeah.
And we steady about this minute that company. Get rid of that company.
We steady spending money in the other lane, but we talking about we boycotting Gucci.
Right.
That's like you going out and say, well, I ain't gonna drink no more Ciroc.
Right.
The company owns Ciroc, owns 50 other different versions of liquor.
Right.
But you gonna ban that one, and you really ain't doing that. So until you do your research and really find out who's making money and who's not off these moves or these political moves or advertisement, they did this thing with Nike with the kneeling up or down. That ain't stopping folks from making no money.
Still making money.
They're still making money
Right.
because the powers that be and the folks that's out there gonna still buy it.
Right.
And it's more Nike in the outlets than it is in the stores.
Yeah.
Right. I want to speak on the twofold. First, I want to speak on the facts of the case. Then I want to go a little bit more metaphysical, and I want y'all to once I expound on it, I want y'all to chime in on this. But the facts of the case is my perception is this: it's a marketing campaign. The Gucci stock, the carrying stock went up. See, they understand the marketing. That's one thing we don't understand marketing, and marketing is where it's going. That's why you guys need to pick up a book, and learn marketing. These people are playing chess, and we playing checkers. What they did is that, first of all, we only 5% of the actual sales on a worldwide of Gucci in a worldwide thing. They understand this, so they do this to actually provoke a response. The response is going to be our fake leadership coming with, we're going to boycott. And they understand the opposition is greater than the actual people that support it. Because we don't support, even though we pump Gucci, but it's still a small percentage. Right. So the flip side of it, the rebound is the people that are the racists or the people that don't like us or don't like our community, don't like our culture, going to support even harder because they just to stick their finger in our eye. So their stock actually went up. So they do this as a ploy for two reasons. I'm gonna get it to actually make more money.
That's like one of the 7 universal laws. You heard me?
Right.
The law of rhythm.
Right. It's a rhythm. It's a rhythm. You understand how we're gonna react, and how we react actually makes them more money. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then Prada did. I think it was Prada or somebody else did with the hang loose or whatever with the noose. They understand. I'm gonna go ahead and follow behind it. But let's take it a step further. Let's take it a step further. I had this deep thought. Let's go a little bit deeper for the advanced class. If you are novice at this, if you just starting out, see if y'all can follow me. and this is just a theory. Again, if people that know me know that I'm real, actual, factual, matter of fact. If I think something, I have a gut feeling, I'll tell you it's a gut, and I'm not going to come across as this is matter of fact. I just think this, I feel it. I feel that in February, it's something we're supposed to be doing that they're trying to distract us from, as far as going within ourselves. Because if you think about it, look at February. February has all the biggest distractions. Mardi Gras, you got Valentine's Day, you got President's Day, you got All-Star, you got Black History Month, you got Oscars coming up. All the distractions, they kind of double up in February. And why out of all the months, this is the shortest month. I have a theory that it's something we're supposed to be doing as far as going within ourselves about the stars and everything like that, that it prepares us for the spring. That's why they call it spring. Boom. It's like that kinetic energy. We pull back, pull back. Go within ourselves. Boom. The spring.
But that's the moon cycle. That's how
the moon cycle. Something
you do that with the moon cycle. You know, as the moon's fading out, you pull back, and when it's getting brighter, that's when you go to work.
Right. And I think because they think about it, why would they have the New Year right in the middle of winter? Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So something is up. Something that they hiding. I don't want to sound crazy and like, you know what I mean, like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but something is about the month of February. They double the distractions.
The 28 month days, that's actually how all the months should be.
Right.
All the months should be 28 days.
Right.
That would keep you more balanced in dealing with the stars.
Well,
maybe that's what it is.
What you think about? I mean, let's open it up. What y'all think about why is February so heavily laced with distractions?
That's one of the things I said. Like I said, all of the months, to keep everything balanced and even, all of the months should be 28 days.
Right, but what about why in this particular time of year they come with all of this at this particular time of year? Because December you got one holiday.
Right.
November you got one holiday. Well, you got two. It's supposed to be Columbus Day and but why you got everything piled up in February? You ever thought about that?
Make it say, man.
Why everything piled up in February?
It's amazing. I'm just sitting there looking at this stock. You mentioned that stock.
Karen,
it's going up, man, as we speak, huh?
Yeah, it's going up as we speak.
What is it tonight? The other day I checked it at 52.
Well, you got two companies. You got a parent company and you got an off-site company.
Right.
One is in the 500s.
Right.
And his other one is at 54.
It was at 52. So it went up. The other day it was at 52.5. So it went up another 2 points. Mm-hmm. So see how
the month it went from 45.
So it went up 9 points. Yeah.
It went $9.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's how they're making money off us. Again, you got to realize the science. My thing to remedy that, now getting off of that, I see that was too deep. I might have went too deep.
Like I said, man, I'm trying to tell you, like, the 28 days,
right?
That's how we really track. We're like, this Canada, that got us on some lockdown
shit.
I
got 28 days, man. I got 28 days.
That got us locked down on some other level shit.
Right.
This whole Canada that we rocking with, that's part of this track. That's part of how we blind. That's part of how our energy ain't right because it is Canada.
But why in February? That's my question. I understand the 28 days.
Yeah.
Why in February is the most distractions? The distractions double up in February, it seems.
I'm ready. So you're going to pay attention to that whole fact. That why February got 28 days.
But why is it not? Why is it? It must be a certain time period that we're supposed to be doing something that we, to prepare us for that spring, for the March.
Dealing with that moon, period. Dealing with that moon.
But that's just an abstract thought. I want to kind of go back to a little bit about the distraction piece and that, and then we're going to go to our next subject. And that's a perfect segue to distraction because that's our next segment going to be about gentrification. Mm-hmm. And what they did to kind of gentrify is to distract us. Mm-hmm. So, hey, I'm going to let you look over here, and then while I'm doing this over here, you see what I'm saying? And they building this up over here before you know it, it popped up.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I said it's all one big game, and we get so caught in. See, the media has a way of controlling the masses. Whatever they want you to think, that's what they tell you. Wherever they want you to go, that's how they send you. And so many of us come home after work. We done ran all day. We've been bogged down all day. We get on there. We look at the crime. We look at the people that they showing us doing the killing. We look at what's important to them. We look at the stuff about the war. Everything they want us to know or not know, they show us through the television. And we already leave home pre-programmed thinking the way they want us to think. But we ain't paying attention to what's really going on. And it really is hurting us as a whole because we keep getting sidetracked by the TV, by the media, by the. I haven't heard nothing this month on social media about Black history.
Except foolishness.
Except it's foolishness. I ain't heard nobody talk about the great folks from day one. I don't even hear about it in the schools no more. I'm in the schools every week. I ain't heard nothing about the Black History program. When we were younger, we had a whole month. We had programs. We talked about inventors. We talked about scientists. But all of them about the Gucci.
Everything about the Gucci right now. Even there's classes in schools doing the Gucci face thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a distraction. Man. It's again, the mind controls the body, and this is what I say damn near every show. Mind controls the body, and also your mind can control several bodies. At the same time. So we involved and engulfed in somebody else's mind. And I think Jay said this on the record, you know, with Bill Cosby and Al Sharpton got to do with me. So, and a lot of this is fake. You know, I'm not on the fake news campaign, but if you look at, do your research, that propaganda has been legal since the 40s. And they just amended the actual resolution to make it social media as of 2013. So a lot of stuff that you're saying is not real, but you're distracted and going on a ride. The whole thing is to get you to
react
and not study yourself.
React.
Think about it. We're 30, 40, some people 50, 60 listening to this. Do you know anything about how your body works? Some people don't know what a pineal gland is still. Some people don't know what the pituitary gland is, the function and stuff like that.
Speak on it, man.
So how you don't know your body, but you know everything about Beyonce. You know all the Beyonce records. You know all the Snoop Dogg records. See how that's a distraction? Back then we didn't have the TV. Back in the day we didn't have a TV, so we had no choice but to study the body. This is the news. But everything else is to stimulate us to get you to think. To distract you from the mind.
That divine intelligence that's within you. That's trying to get your attention too.
Killer Priest is one of my favorite artists. You know, Wu-Tang is my favorite group. Period. I'm Wu forever. You know what I mean? So, but Killer Priest had the hardest line I probably said all right. He said, as a slave, we was kept from the mind. Let that sink in for a second, family. As a slave, we was kept from the mind.
And from the caves, he kept from behind.
But the thing is, as a slave, man, we kept from the mind. If you don't have the mind, man, you all lower self.
And your emotions is the way to reach the full potential of the mind. If you can't control your emotions, you will never have access to both hemispheres of your brain. You have to get control of your emotional state first. That's key to getting your crown. This is where it's at right here, y'all. In the mind.
This is the thing. Let's tap on what they're doing in this city. Not only this city, but they're doing in a lot of major cities. Well, let's get into a little bit of gentrification. That's one of the big distractions. This is one of the biggest distractions because this is affecting your pockets, your livelihood, your standard of living, right underneath your nose.
Speak on it, brother. Speak on how you doing that up here.
Well, see, the first thing starts back with our grandparents. Our grandparents worked from sun up to sundown. We'll take Third Ward for instance. Third Ward, Houston, center of the city. At one time, that was predominantly owned by blacks. Lived there. Our stores was there. They just changed Darling to Emancipation. That street's been Darling for as long as we can remember. Every black-owned business was right there.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is, grandma and grandpa, one of them passed away.
Right.
They got 5, 6 kids. First, we don't get our paperwork straight. We too afraid to put, we don't know nothing about living trusts. We don't know nothing about placing our properties or our assets into things that our kids can't mess up.
Right.
So she don't want to leave JoJo some property and put it all in JoJo's name because she don't want Ray Ray and Teddy to feel bad. But when Teddy got back child support and Ray Ray got school loans, when Mama passed, everybody that's heirs of the property get a piece of the property. But also all their things where they're delinquent in as well attached to the pieces of property. So now you got 1 or 2 children in the family that can't do nothing with the property because you got a few siblings that either don't want to sell out or their personal life is so raggedy from not being responsible, like you spoke about earlier. So it attacks it. So we might have a piece of property worth $100,000. Let's just say it's 10 kids. So each one of them, when we sell Mama property, gonna get $10,000. But if Ray Ray got $20,000 worth of child support, now we got a $20,000 lien against this property. So he upset because he don't want to walk away and lose his 10. Plus he's already encroached on somebody else $10,000. And then if this joker here got student loans, that's $40,000. Now we got $60,000 worth of debt that we've inherited on our property because all of us are heirs to this property. So we can't sell or refi until those debts are paid off. So that makes the ones who ain't responsible don't do nothing. That makes the ones who are responsible walk away from it because it's tied up. So the first thing we need to do is make sure anything that our mamas and our grandparents have, that we have it properly structured on paper.
Trust.
And putting this stuff in the trust. And putting one person over it and believing that that one sibling is going to handle it right for everybody involved. Because, man, these properties is popping up at the courthouse every month. And they
pennies on the dollar.
Pennies on the dollar.
Pennies on the dollar. That's how we're losing them.
I mean, and I can get a little personal with it. I ain't going to put too much out there.
Right.
But last year, I went backwards. I got out of my Lexus, and I got in the smart car.
Right.
I sold all my stocks to come up with some money, and I picked a piece of property up in 3rd Ward for about $50,000. That property is worth $300,000 right now. I'm finna sell it right now. Because somebody else is worrying about how they look, what they drive. I go through 3rd Ward every Saturday night. Down Darling, Blodgett, Almeda. I might see $100 million worth of calls over there. Ride past the address. We got $100 million worth of calls out there. We got Benzes, BMWs, Lexuses, Maseratis, Lambos, but we not paying attention to that old regular house that they just tore down 3 steps down from the address, and this triplex then popped up, and this triplex worth $300 to $360 to $600,000.
Right.
We ain't paying attention to that, but we the flyest ones getting dressed to go to the club, but we ain't paying attention to what's going on around there. Pretty soon we won't be able to hang in 3rd Ward or even go near 3rd Ward. Right now, if Almeda, they're getting a petition signed right now that the train can't even blow his horn no more at night coming through there. What is that petition about? It ain't really about the train. It's about a noise audience because next they finna put some pressure on them clubs. And they finna get them clubs out of there. So we'll no longer be hanging on Almeda here pretty soon. And every time you see one of them triplexes come up, just know we on our way shortly out of there.
How did it, let me ask you this, how did it, you explained beautifully as far as how did, on the individual basis, but how did they mastermind, how did on the opposition side, how did they mastermind, let me go ahead and pick these areas. How do they do that? How did they, all right, I see this is a area that I might want to reestablish.
Well, if you pay attention to it, us as a culture, we've always chased the white folks. We always wanted to be where they were. Back when they started this segregation, desegregation mess, that was done by design to take the strongest folks from out of our community, because you took the doctors, you took the lawyers, you took the teachers.
The ones that want to get up and go.
Anybody with get and go, you took them out of the community. And that left behind the dope man, the number runner, the pimp,
the hustler.
Right.
So who did all the young folks want to grow up and be like?
Right.
They wanted to be like the man with the money.
Right.
And the man with the money was the pimp,
Right.
the dope
Right.
dealer, the hustler, and the number runner. We was in 5th Ward, and we were in 3rd Ward. They were all in Cynic Wood back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
We moved to Cynic Wood in the late 60s, early 70s. They moved out to Humble.
Right.
We moved out to Humble. They moved out to Kingwood.
Right.
Now we're in the Kingwood Humble area. They back doing. They going back downtown.
Right. Right.
We've been chasing them since day one.
Right.
They always got the better school districts. They always got the cleaner homes.
Right.
The community is well kept. The security system is better. The stores are going to be better.
Right.
The groceries are going to be better. So everything that's always provided for them is going to be. Sprouts pop up. You don't
Right.
see a Sprouts in the hood.
Right.
When you see Sprouts come, you know it's some changing taking
Right.
place.
Some gentrification coming.
But they always gonna go in and snatch the property up for 50 cents on the dollar.
Right. If not less.
And they're gonna run the numbers up.
Right.
Once they get the numbers up, we come in right behind them.
Right.
And boom, we pay top dollar. And they on to the next.
Right.
And we don't look forward. And I hope y'all catching all this, family. I hope he's going pretty slow, but again, play this over and over because this is the key, the roadmap, because the thing about history, the one thing I said this on the last thing, is a blueprint to not repeat itself.
Yes.
So we understand the game plan. The information is out there. Before you couldn't get a podcast where I could hip you and let you know what's going on. Now we got to do, what can we do to prevent this? And what we need to do is this is a perfect segue, get with myself, Michael Joseph, and let you be on the front end of getting those properties. So you can make you some money, get those properties at pennies on the dollar, and that way for the next generation, your kids coming up, you know how to put it in trust. We can better ourselves and have our kids in a better situation than we've been, because we made mistakes. Are we going to keep repeating these mistakes?
Right.
Or are we going to do something about it? And that's what this podcast is about. Let's take ownership of ourselves first. Yeah, we grew up messed up, jacked up. But hey, I'm about to do something about it.
Right.
I mean, I've sat back and see, I've done mortgages.
Right.
I've done appraisals. I've always general contracted. So I only became a realtor because I needed access to some of the tools that would help me navigate through the system a whole lot better. So I give you another example. There was a black church on Little York called Little Rock. Mel Favre used to own Little York in 59. He was a Ford car lot.
Right.
The reason he went out of business is in 95, 96, when them expeditions and them Mustangs hit the market, they was getting creative with the financing and putting all the minorities in those vehicles. When them people didn't make good on them loans, Mel Favre no longer had banks that he could go to finance cars. He owned a corner, and he tried his best to hold on to that corner. He sold the corner to the church off of Little York, and the church was called Little Rock.
Right.
If the preacher would have took and put his church in that parking lot where Home Depot sits, the church would be collecting rent right now from Bank of America, from Whataburger,
Right.
from Walgreens, from Taco Cabana,
Right.
from all them shopping centers that sit around that parking lot.
Right.
The pastor could be running his church out of a Home Depot. The same place Home Depot sits
Right.
would be where the church would be. So he'd never have to ask for tithes again.
Right. Exactly.
Not one time. We're just going to play some round numbers. Just say he bought it for $2 million.
Right.
He turned around and sold it for $4 million
Right.
to move to Humble. He went into a store, old Garden Ridge in Humble. He left the income that he had and the folks that he had that supported him to go to Humble chasing a bigger dollar and bigger tide payers. None of that lasted, and we lost it. Now Home Depot own that corner.
Right.
We'll never be able to own that corner again.
Right.
That was a power move for the black folks.
Right. We squandered the opportunity.
We squandered it. That man had a chance to put his church where Home Depot sit. And just think, every one of them buildings, from Walgreens to Taco Cabana, they all at least 10 to 20,000 square feet.
Right.
So if they paying $1 a square foot, they getting $10,000, $20,000 a month from each one of them buildings. Our problem is we can't see foresight.
Right. We don't see the future.
We too busy looking at right now.
Right. Right. And
Right
feel
now,
look
right
good,
now.
feel good right now.
Right now.
And don't understand that, and we talked about this on the phone earlier this week, is that the payoff is in the long run. This third density life is like working out. So you're gonna train until failure.
That pain is where the growth is at.
Got to tear the muscle down. Got to tear it down.
In the long run, if you keep being persistent at it, that's when you're going to see the results. Nothing in this that's the covenant that we under. Where we from? Yeah, we go hocus pocus and make it.
We want it right now.
We want it right now. That's not how this works. That's not how this designed. So we want instant gratification. So we want the car now instead of how people that's well off do it. They get your asset first before you get a liability. So get a business or something to facilitate that car. Get your property or something that way you can pay for that car. That way you ain't got to pay for it.
I often tell the couples when I sit down, before I take them out to go look at houses,
Right.
I say, I want y'all to buy everything on one income.
Right.
I want all your bills, house note, lights, gas, water, everything to be on one income.
Right.
We're going to take your spouse income and we're going to use that to pay everything down. Or we're going to use their income to start building passive income.
Right.
So we're living on one, on the husband income, we're taking the wife income, and we're building passive income. Right. Once her incomes get so strong on the passive side, we can retire her off her job, but don't stop.
Right.
Keep going to work.
Right.
Keep dumping your money into the passive income. Once you and your husband both can replace y'all income off the passive, both of y'all get to walk away from y'all jobs and y'all debt free.
Right.
Because so many of us leave home in this dark and we don't get home to this dark.
Right.
And then once one of us lose our job, that's where the divorce coming in.
Right.
That's where the kids being neglected.
Right.
Because we stretch ourselves so thin
Right.
on, we both make $100,000 together a year. I make 50, she make 50. We finna spend 100.
Right.
We don't want to live on 50 and put up 50.
Right.
We don't want to live on 75 and put up 25.
Right.
We make 100, we spend 105.
We spent 120.
We spent 110.
We talked about this last episode, and I don't want to repeat too much, but I talked about how some Jewish friends, how they brought up to live off of 20% of what they make. If they make $10,000 a month, they live off of 2. They put 40 towards taxes and 40 towards storage or savings, and they don't really call it savings, they call it storage because they temporarily put it to invest in something that's going to make them what's called passive income. And we got to learn, people that's out there listening, if you had a house, that's not it. This working a 9 to 5 with a house in a 401k is no longer going to make you rich in this new economy. It's changing. You have to invest in businesses that's going to make you supplemental incomes. Also, you have to have a rental portfolio. That's just what it is. And we're behind. A lot of my friends got 200 houses, 100 houses, ridiculous amount of houses. They don't have to work at all. They work because they love it, not because they have to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But it's something that has to change in our mind because we want to shine
right
now.
Right now. Right. And that's the thing. And we're going to go ahead and, bring it to like a head is that it all starts with ourselves. We got to reprogram our mind. Think about this. Think about sacrificing a little bit for your children. Let's visualize this. Out there, if y'all out there listening, just go ahead and close your eyes for me a second. And you got to, again, visualize your team winning. Right now, we're losing. Think about how it would feel to not have to wake up and have to work. Think about how it would feel to have your children secure and not have to do the things that you had to do for money. Think about how it would feel to, at the end of the month, your bill's not even close to the amount that you got in your account.
Man, if I could just get 90% of us that's renting to get some renter's insurance.
Right.
That's a start.
Right.
We got insurance on our cell phone and ain't even got renter's insurance at the place we live.
Right.
The house catch on fire because the neighbors or because of the people upstairs, you lose everything you got.
Right.
Just renewing the mind to start securing yourself on every angle.
Right.
I mean, you got to live life like you playing chess. Every move, you need to either be making a move to win or a move to protect yourself because you're in a battle.
Right.
All day long.
Right.
But like you said earlier, we playing checkers.
Right.
We just moving.
Just moving. We reacting. We're not really even moving. We're reacting.
Because we're not thinking. We just responding.
Well, we taught not to think, and that's what this program is about. This particular is a reprogram. And that's what we come in to do. Somebody has to take leadership, and we step up to the plate. We reprogramming the mind. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not here to beat up on you, but just think about what it will be to win. Mm. You got to think, how would it be to win? If you just visualize that over and over and over, then your body will automatically move and try to do things to start to win. Mm. And we got to define, what is a win? Mm. A win is not a new car. Right. A win is not a new piece of clothing. A win is something that's going to make you some money while you sleep.
Mm. You know, I had this conversation this week. I ran into a gentleman I know have 10 kids.
Right.
And he's got some assets.
Mm. Right.
But 2 of his kids done died.
Right.
But one of the sons got 6 children.
Right.
So now, when him and his wife die, not only is his would-be 10 kids will be fighting over his assets, because he ain't got his trust in place. He ain't got it. Right. Now is 2 of the kids dead, plus 5 by one son. So now we had 13.
Right.
Plus we got another one that had 2 children.
Right.
So they got 15 different people. Where he thought, and the old man said to me today, he said, well, Mike, our family pretty close.
Right.
And they ain't gonna fight behind no money.
Right.
I said, Pop,
right.
If you know like I know, you need to put it on paper.
Right.
Because something happened to you and your wife tomorrow, we got 15 different people with 15 different mindsets who all want access to what you leaving behind.
Right.
So we got to get out of loving each other so much to where it ain't by business.
Right. Well, family is business.
We got to put it on paper. We got to have our I's dotted. We got to have our T's crossed to make sure what we're building, the next gen. I'm going to slab with understanding that my slab won't be so tight, my son can frame the house.
Right.
When my son get through framing the house, if the slab is right and the framing is right, the next generation gonna come along, gonna sheetrock it and put a roof on it. We finished.
Right, we done. And then not only that, think about this, family. Not only that one unit, if that one unit is tight, while you doing and teaching your community, in turn your whole community be tight.
Yeah.
And when that whole community tight, then that's when we can make moves. As a community, you can't. First of all, you got to understand this. Everything starts with the internal, but us as human beings is dualistic. You still have to. We're communal beings. We used to work in tribes.
Right. Right.
So you can't do everything by yourself, and that's another thing. You know, not to get kind of off subject, but because we about to wrap this thing up. But a lot of people in our community want to be individuals, and we compete against each other. We was talking about this earlier on the phone. We got family members competing, trying to out jockey the next person for position, and the position and how they judge success is about material items.
Materialistically, yeah.
You're not judging us by, all right, how much. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you can keep. You see what I'm saying? So, and our priorities messed up. Like, why are we competing against each other? You should love yourself enough to. I want to see you win.
Right.
I told you that before we wished. I want to see you 2-3 closing, 4-5 closings a month. I don't have no animosity. I know if you win, I'm gonna win.
Right.
Same thing with you. I want to see you the dude as far as poetry. I want to see you as far as on movies and stuff.
Right.
How is that affecting me?
Right. Well,
that's gonna make me shine.
Right. If I win,
it goes back full circle to the beginning of the conversation. Why not trust that? Trust the process.
Well, a lot of it is just, I can give another personal one. I got a $2.5 million policy on myself.
Right.
I don't smoke, I don't drink, I ain't jumping out no helicopters. Right. I'm in prime health, so they was able to give it to me.
Right.
So I go to my family as a whole at the family reunion. I say, okay, I'm willing to sign the papers for everybody that want to put a $2.5 million policy on me.
Right.
All y'all got to pay the premium though. I say it costs me $150 a month.
Right.
If we get 10 of us to join, when I pass, which I'm gonna get out of here, that's 2.5 times 10.
Wow.
Right.
Now that means the Nelson family has $25 million in our access at one time.
Right.
First thing my cousin say, well, I want to pay $150 a month on you.
Right.
I say, because I'm letting you cash in on 2.5.
Yeah.
And if you pass before I do, then your daughter continue to pay the policy.
Right.
Because Big Cuz gonna go.
Right, you gonna go. Yeah, you gonna go.
If I don't go for you, I'm gonna go before her.
Right.
I say, but that's an opportunity to change generational wealth
Right.
for the whole family. I ain't just talking about my house.
Right.
I'm talking about my whole last name.
Right.
So now we got 25 million. We can
Right.
go open a shopping center with.
Right.
We can go build a subdivision with.
Right.
We can do a whole lot with 25 million. But they couldn't see past
Well, they can't see past just that initial workout.
Right.
the fact that they got to spend $100
Right.
a month.
Right. So what I mean by initial workout, a lot of people want to work out one time and you want to get swole like Schwarzenegger. Doesn't happen like that. It's an ongoing process. And we lost the fact that, hey, you have to sacrifice sometimes for the next generation. We became selfish. So we want everything now. Instant gratification. You understand what I'm saying? And we don't leave nothing for the past. I mean, the past now. So if you understand, first of all, if you understand self, and go back to self again. Let's go back to self. You understand that you can't die. You are the immortal soul. Why are you worried about this particular one body?
Right.
Why not make it better for people coming later?
The next generation.
The next generation. Where's that compassion? Where's the empathy? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that make a whole lot of sense.
So we lost, some kind of way we lost that. And I think it's from the programming.
Selfishness.
The programming that, they show us on TV all the time, the gangsters and thugs, and so that heart chakra turned off.
They're operating in that egotistical mind frame.
Right.
We don't even know it when we're in that mind frame.
Right.
So that comes from not dealing with those egos and those low energies.
Right.
That's what
you got to deal with it. Yeah.
You
You
can't
got
run
to deal
from
with
it.
it. You can't run from it.
So then I put a spin on it. So I tell my cousin, I said, well, you got your wife and 2 kids.
Right.
I said, y'all can put this same policy on y'all for $600 a month.
Right.
I say, let's do the math on it. I said, we ain't talking about you and your children benefiting.
Right.
I'm talking about your grandchildren benefiting. Because
Right.
the words say, a real man leaves an inheritance to his children.
Man, this should be like religion.
Right.
Religious.
Well, it is. It is to a lot of people that's in my circle that's not in my community.
Right.
And that's the purpose of the podcast, is to bring all this knowledge out, go thinking about stuff you never thought about. You see what I'm saying? And I want to, again, I told you this on the last podcast. I want to be that that leader, that person that you look up to, that advice that we didn't get as a child, as a youth, that our parents didn't know about. There's no excuses now. Ignorance is a choice.
Right. So when I begin to break the numbers down, I tell my cousin, I say, so let's do the math. $600 a month,
Right.
times 12 months. I say, for your household, that's $7,000 a year.
Right.
I say, let's just say y'all live 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I say at 10 years, what's that, $7,000?
Yeah.
If y'all live every 10 years, that's another 7. I say, so you 50 something now, and your children in their 20s. So what's the odds of all of y'all living past 50 more?
Right.
I say, so at 50 more, that's 7 a year, 7 for 10 years.
Right.
I said, that's 70 for 10. I said, when we did the math, it came out to like $400,000-$500,000
Right.
that him and his wife would spend, or his children would spend over the next 50 years
Right.
to win 10 million.
Right.
I said, man, it's simple math.
Right.
I said, but that's an investment that you can't help but win on.
Right.
Because you're going to leave here,
Right.
going to leave 2.5 behind. Your wife going to leave here, going to leave 2.5 behind.
Right.
Your son going to leave here, going to leave 2.5 behind.
Right.
And your daughter going to leave here and leave. I said, that's 10 million for your grandchildren.
Right.
Why your grandchildren got to worry about working now?
Right. They don't.
They don't.
Well,
All they got to do is manage that 10 million, correct?
Right.
And they'll never work another day in their life.
Well, that's the thing. But, let me bring this to a head, y'all, because I don't want to keep y'all on Friday night too long, family. The whole thing, bro. Let's bring it to on a managerial standpoint. The whole thing is to get us trapped in this money game, and realize it's not. It's all a game. And let me break it down. Give me a couple of seconds to break this down. I don't want to rush this. I want people to follow me out there. The whole thing is to not only distract you from looking at yourself, but not realizing that I am money, I am the currency, I am the energy. The paper is fictitious. I can bring the paper into my realm anytime I want to. I am money. So, but if you don't know how to play the game, you don't know how to create it. And in turn, you stuck your creativity stuff. See, his grandchildren, if we followed your program, followed that formula, could now, instead of working for somebody else and building their dreams and building their creativity up, now I can do what I want. I can create what I want. And I can bring the greater good to the society how I see fit. Does that make sense? And we've been losing, and we've been building up their team, how they see fit. This is how we got so far removed. In the world, how they see fit, our team is going to stay where they at. You see what I'm saying? Because we winning. It's white privilege. Think about it. Why are we so concerned with people, how they feel? How they feel about us? Who cares? Start our own. Start your own Gucci. We should be supporting that from the get-go. This shouldn't be a debate. Why are we supporting these people anyway if it ain't bringing it? We should have a moratorium. If you ain't bringing that to our culture, we're not supporting it. Right. And then I gotta text people to say, I gotta ask you 2-3 times to support my book. It's just, people that you know in your community. So the thing is that it all ties in together. Do the formulas, do the pragmatic stuff. Sacrifice a little bit for the greater good. Teach your kids it's a game. Teach your kids that I have money. I can create what I want to create if I know know the rules of the game. Right. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So that's the thing. We don't understand the rules. Now there's no excuse. Now the rules are getting out there. Now family, people that's listening, you have no excuse now.
Right.
Hit us up.
Everything is available right now.
Everything is available. Keep tuning in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Call us. My number is 832-775-8357. Call me. Send me an email, whatever. DM me. Billionareloanofficer.com on all social media. Billionareloanofficer.com. Billionaire on all social media, including YouTube. Subscribe, like, so on and so forth. It's available. We're here to help you. And in turn, I trust. I trust myself. I trust you. In turn, I'm going to help you, give you this information. In turn, I'm trusting that you're going to support us and support what we got going and help us help you.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
You see what I'm saying? So go ahead and tell them where they can find you on all your social.
Social media, pretty much the B Spot Real Estate and Investments. That's on Instagram, Facebook. Right there, you can contact me at 832-265-7791. Or go to my website, michaelkjoseph.com. That's Michael, MICHAELK, Joseph, JOSEPH.com.
Right.
Social media on IG as Siraj Wilson. That's SIRAJ Wilson, WILSON. That's the same for Facebook. You can email me at Jeruzheru, JERUZZHERU@gmail.com. Hit me up. I got a show this Sunday at the Pocket. That's off of Green Road. Come check us out. We got a Shade Poetry. Come check us out, man.
Support, family. Support. We shouldn't have to ask for support. It should be automatic. Again, my name is Brandon B. Dixon. Billionaire Loan Officer on all platforms. Billionareloanofficer.com, thepowerofownership.org. If you want to get a mortgage, investment property, people calling me a lot for fix and flips, hocmortgage.com. You can fill out the application right there. Go online, or you can call me. I'll do that for you. I really want us to start turning it down. Again, in our lifetime, you might not see it. We might not make the playoffs, but we're going to start to put pieces together so we can start winning.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? So, again, family, personal responsibility is your only savior. God is a verb. Peace.
Peace. Good show, brother. Oh, man.